what's good, everybody? Your man Eric Wilson for the Sports Arena, and I got a really special guest in the building. I had the privilege of meeting this man last year, I believe, at the National Coalition for Minority Coaches, Times Square, New York City. You've seen this man all over the place. He went from ESPN, Amazon, Peacock, all over the place. Michael Smith is in the building. What's up, man?
Good, man. I'm just trying to put kids through private school. My oldest daughter want to go to UCLA, so if y'all got any other jobs y'all aware of, let me know. I need all the paychecks I can get. I need all the income coming in. Possible. Good to be with y'all, man.
Hey, appreciate it.
Y'all paying me for this, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
Send me an invoice. So, listen, I know you just got off your show.
Yeah. Brother from another.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you were in Vegas for the National Coalition for Minority Coaches.
I was.
Talk to me about that event, man.
It was beautiful. It was good for the soul. It was well attended, well organized. Shout out to Maryland coach Mike Loxley for the job he's done building this coalition. It's growing. With the Suoer Bowl in Vegas next year, the convention's going to be there again. So it should really grow exponentially over the coming year with the amount of people expected to attend and descend upon Vegas next year. But, I mean, it was great, man. I mean, listen, I'm not a football coach, but I got something out of it, right? The amount of knowledge that was disseminated. I had the pleasure of hosting a Q&A with Jim Caldwell, which I put in quotes hosting because with Jim Caldwell, a lot of people might not notice about the former Colts and Lions head coach, is that you give him a microphone and you get out the way. A lot of people look at Jim as like this soft-spoken, doesn't have a presence about him. That man can command a room, and you understand why, because he comes from a family full of ministers. And he dropped some serious knowledge on that group in terms of his journey, his approach, his preparation, his vision, his mentality, his sacrifices. And Shalise Manza-Young from Yahoo Sports, she's a columnist, a powerful voice in sports media, one of two African-American women columnists in the country, national columnists in the country, sports columnists right now, one of 5 to ever be a national sports columnist. She's fearless, and one of the things she wrote about today was if that Jim Caldwell that was at the convention is the one that sits in front of head coaches, if he doesn't have a job, then they obviously don't know what they're doing. And she was honored, of course, with the Media Advocate Award. So it was just a great time had by all. I'm really glad to be a part of that organization.
I don't think anybody told you before you came that I'm a Lions fan. So way to just go ahead and rip my heart right out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
But at least things are looking up now, though. That was messed up.
We should still have the guy that went
Jim Caldwell, yes.
3 winning seasons out of 4. That's who we should still have.
Yes.
So I was talking to somebody earlier. For our generation, right, Stuart Scott made broadcasting cool.
Yes.
And whether you realize it or not, what you and Jamel did, you're our generation's. Y'all made the tandem. You made sports shows cool, and you can see the impact that you guys had in a lot of shows now. Everybody wants to be Mike and Jamel. Do you notice that, and what kind of sense of pride do you take in seeing the impact you had on the culture now?
I appreciate that so much. I'm very proud of the mark we made on the industry, both as individuals and as a tandem. Because I know what I did apart from her before we got together, and I also know what she did. Remember that number of 5 African American? She was one of them. She was a trailblazer in print journalism before she became a broadcast personality. And then we got together. In the moment, we didn't quite know the magnitude of it. We've gotten a lot of that sentiment since we've gone our separate ways, and it's like, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, man. Like it's giving me a lot of peace about how things ended, because obviously they didn't end well. They didn't end the way we wanted them, and it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to turn out when we went to Sports Center. But knowing that for that brief period of time, we did his and hers, and it went to Sports Center, that we had left an indelible mark, that makes us feel a hell of a lot better. It makes me feel a hell of a lot better about what we did. And regardless of how it ended, regardless of the narrative that some people want to attach to that experience, we know what we did, and the people know what we did, the culture know what we did.
Right.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's flattering, man, because I know what Stuart meant to me, and if I could mean anything close to what Stuart meant to me, to the generation that's following me, then man, then my work is, I'm not gonna say my work is done, but it was meaningful because all I wanted to do and all we wanted to do was illustrate how a man and a woman, especially a black man and a woman, but at that time, and this was crazy. I look around this media center, I look around Radio Row, and I see a lot of women. And I don't just see a lot of women escorting men or producing men. I see a lot of women behind microphones. And that wasn't the case circa 2014. That was not the case. There were not women who were the equal to their male counterpart. What we wanted to do was illustrate that a man and a woman could sit at a table and be equal. Not a woman just listening to the man or teeing up the man, but could be equal. And that man could shut the hell up and listen to that woman and care as much about what that woman has to say as much as care about what he wants to say, and vice versa. We worked because we were invested in each other's success. And that to me is universal, whether it's black people, whether it's white people, whether it's men, two women. It's like we were successful because we cared about each other and we cared about the show more than we cared about our own agendas individually. And the idea that people are trying to emulate that is super flattering, it's humbling, and yeah, man, I look back very fondly on that time period because I know some of the struggles that we had and some of the frustrations that we had, but knowing that it was for a greater good, it feels great. So thank you for that. Thank you.
I'll wrap that up with this. If they came and did Coming to America 2, and everybody want Bad Boys 3, and Best Man came back 10 years later, are we gonna ever see Mike and Jamel? You knew it was coming, right?
You know, I doubt it, to be honest with you. Listen, I think I'll speak for her when I say this. Not that everybody ain't got a price. Because look, if the check is big enough, we'll run it back. Part of the reason I think is it's like we were ahead of our time, but we had our time. I think we are now living, at least the his and hers legacy is living on vicariously through all the shows that's followed that blueprint. So I don't know that we need his and hers now because we have so many people doing it authentically, doing it unapologetically, right? For us though, she and I have gone our separate ways. We're both doing well in our own arenas. My fear, quite honestly, would be that if we came back, you mentioned The Best Man.
Can't live up to it.
But they did. The Best Man, the final chapters.
I haven't seen it yet, so don't tell me.
I'm not going to spoil it, but I'm just saying, like, they
right.
delivered. Just
Okay.
like the sequel did. Like, they delivered. She and I, like, that was a time in our lives and our careers. I just don't know if we're at that same place to where we could just pick up where we left off. And I would not want to, the nostalgia is no different than you know, Michael Jordan has gotten better in retirement. He was great as a player, but he's gotten even better in retirement. Like, I feel like me and Jamel and his and hers is even better the farther we get removed from it. Because a lot of times I'm like, where was this love we was on the air?
So watching it, so you know, you watch it in syndication and you like, wow, we was actually on something back then. But you know,
we had some moments, man. We
right.
did some groundbreaking stuff. Yeah.
So
you
you talk about, you know, the elevation of both of you, because you know, dynamically, I mean, together you were dynamic. Individually, you have both moved on to that next road in your life.
Yeah.
So then my question for you simply is this: now that you have Brother from Another, now that you are a part of the Coalition for Minority Football Coaches, and you trying to get that third, fourth, and fifth job, so what is next for Michael Smith? Like, what's in the work? Because I think I remember you talking about, you know, you looking to do more, maybe from behind the cameras.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, no, I don't think so. Even for Brother from Another, and I've shared this, but you know, not a lot. Like, I you know, it's just kind of just let it speak for itself. But those that consume Brother from Another, listen to it on, you know, wherever you get your podcast, or watch it on YouTube, or subscribe and watch it live on Peacock or Sirius XM Channel 85. They've noticed my absence. They're like, well, wait, why is Michael only on once a week? Or why is Michael not on the show so much? I don't get much at this point from giving my take on LeBron or my prediction for the Super Bowl or reacting to NFL Monday. It's like, kind of been there, done that. Like, what I want Brother from Another to be is a vehicle for the next Michael Smith, the next Michael Holley, the next Jamel Hill. I want it to be a platform where people who just need that opportunity, not just for exposure, but an opportunity to be in an environment that allows them to be their true, unapologetic, authentic, whole selves. I want this to be an incubator. And so that's where I want Brother from Another to be. I founded a company called Inflection Point Entertainment. I want to tell our stories our way, simply put. So I want to create content. I want to build partnerships and relationships, and I want to own intellectual property. You know, hell, I named Brother from Another. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my brainchild. You know, like I want to own the content as opposed to just, you know, renting. As opposed to, because somebody told me if you're always talent, you could always be replaced, and I'm a living witness to that. You know, like I'm one misstep away, maybe not even, from NBC and Peacock saying it was real. You understand what I'm saying? I want to own my content. I want to sell my content. I want to work with networks and corporations, not for them. You know, and I want to set other people up to be able to do the same thing. So I feel like my run on camera is coming to a close. It's been fun, but it's like I don't have anything else to do or to prove in that setting. For me now, it's about calling the shots from behind the scenes, telling the stories the way I want to tell them.
So you don't want to do the Monday morning reaction anymore, but we are at Super Bowl 57.
Yeah, I'll do it right now. Look, I'm over there. I still got bills to pay. I told you that on top. I still got bills to pay.
He's trying to put girls through private school, man. UCLA, you heard it.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the major storylines, right? It's the first time in NFL history we have 2 black quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. Just speak to the significance of it.
Yeah, I think significance and how special it is are the right words, because it's more like it's almost like a culmination. It's a culmination of a journey, a very difficult journey. It's a journey that's not over. There's still a lot of double standards that are applied. There's still a lot of tropes and stereotypes and limits put on black quarterbacks, and the conversation around black quarterbacks still is dripping with institutional racism. But we've come a long way to where, again, as conscious as I am, that wasn't the first thing came to my mind. You know why? Because Jalen Hurts has been an MVP candidate all year. The Eagles have been the best team all year. I wasn't surprised when the Eagles were getting to the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, this is his 3rd trip in 4 years. Patrick Mahomes is not only the best quarterback in the league, he's arguably the face of the league. So we've come so far to where it's not novel to have black faces under the helmet, under center. It is now commonplace for black quarterbacks to be among the best quarterbacks. If you list the best quarterbacks in the league and the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, you'll get to a lot of brothers. Okay?
We all up in there.
Right. So I would say it's more, and it's also not a watershed moment because of all the reasons I listed. When Doug Williams broke through, even when McNair made it, or going back to Super Bowl 41 when Lovey and Tony were coaching against each other.
Yeah.
We all looked at those as moments that might open some eyes and enlighten some white owners or coaches or general managers to the fact that, see, black people can lead. Black people can lead with this. Black people can be quarterbacks. We can be head coaches. Well, from a quarterback standpoint, we're past that. There's no more debate as to whether or not a black quarterback can be successful and can win. The game has evolved to suit the skill sets of black quarterbacks.
Okay, but
the frontier is still head coaches.
I understand that, but go deeper with me on this really quick, because the stereotype, the mindset hasn't truly evolved.
When it comes to quarterbacks?
When it comes to quarterbacks. We might be there, and it's now going to be on center stage, on the biggest stage, for the biggest game. But the mindset, I feel, still is not, I feel it's not been recognized. Because even though Jalen is who he is, and listen, I'm an Eagle fan, let me make no mistake about it. I have criticized this man, but I have also praised him. I knew what Patrick Mahomes was from day one. But it just seems to me that as we get to this point, the true recognition, the true evolution, if you will, isn't there. I still feel like there's still that. I feel the goalpost next season is going to be 5 yards more.
For black quarterback?
Yes. So
listen,
change my mind there.
No,
because
I mean, I hear what you're saying. I guess I'm not naive to it. Look, as black men in America, as black people in America, in any walk of life, there's always going to be a double standard.
Yes.
There's always going to be goalposts moving. So the commentary around black quarterbacks, yeah, you may hear people talk about Jalen Hurts or not talk about Jalen Hurts in a way for example, in a way that they would not a white counterpart or should or would a white counterpart. I hear you.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is when it comes to quarterbacks being denied opportunities, that's what I'm recognizing.
Okay.
I'm not talking about
All
giving
right.
credit.
Okay.
But when it comes to being given an opportunity and given contracts,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
like giving them money,
Yes. Okay.
we're there.
Yes, sir.
Because it's like not only are we there, you got white quarterbacks now playing the game stylistically in a way that was often associated with black quarterbacks.
We've seen that numerous times, and I'm taking that out of sports. You took that in entertainment.
Correct.
You take that in food. You take that in business.
Josh Allen, hell, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Vanilla Vic, they call him. Like, the way that they're playing right now is the way that when black quarterbacks played that way,
Right.
it was frowned upon because you got to win from the pocket.
Right.
Now that's the way the game is played.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, like, it's almost like if you like step back and look at the amount of starting quarterbacks that are black, the opportunities are there as opposed to what Warren Moon had to go through, what the aforementioned Doug Williams had to go through, you know, what Joe Gilliam had to go through.
It's almost look at
That's the change I'm talking about.
If-
But the
if you're not
commentary,
capable.
yeah,
if you're not capable of being mobile, it's looked at as a negative now.
correct. The commentary, though,
Right.
I mean that is what it is. But even the people who say things like Lamar Jackson ought to, you know, move to wide receiver, they're called on that now. That doesn't fly anymore.
Right.
So it's still there, but it's met with resistance. Because again, I'm not saying that we're. Listen, man, I ain't never gonna say we're post-racial. I'm glad you said that because I want to be challenged because I don't want there to be any miscommunication or any
of course.
about what I'm trying to say. I'm saying, thankfully, we're past the point of a black quarterback winning the Super Bowl, proving that black quarterbacks can win.
All right. That
know,
being said,
yeah.
and I know your time is limited, give us who you think's
A black quarterback's gonna win. That's what's gonna happen.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
The question is,
Yeah.
which one?
Oh man, you're Eagles fan, so
No. Listen, I can be truly
I know you-
unbiased.
'cause you can
No,
be
he
so-
cannot.
Yes, I
no,
can.
he cannot.
Yeah, no. This man right here, he won't let
What's
me.
your squad?
He won't let me.
I'm
You're
a
a New
Lions
Yorker.
fan.
Oh, you said that
I said
earlier.
that earlier.
You
You
said that
talking about
earlier.
Caldwell.
You
I'm
said
a
that
Lions
earlier. Yeah. God bless you. Man, you know, I have so much respect for both these organizations. I'll get right to the point. If I gotta pick a winner, I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Eagles.
Okay.
Because I think the Eagles, with all due respect to Kansas City, who has a really good offensive line and a good defense, I think the Eagles, their front seven and their offensive line is just something, a level. They can win a street fight in a way that I'm not sure Kansas City can. That's not to say Kansas City's soft or Kansas City's fraud. No, Kansas City deserves to be here, and they're the gold standard. But like Philadelphia is like just their running game, the quarterback, the way they're just so physical. I think I could see them winning a grinded out kind of game and making life real miserable with that pass rush with Patrick Mahomes, much the same way Tampa Bay did a couple years ago.
Yeah, I know you're gonna sign us off. I live by a motto: give people their flowers while they're here, man. What your generation feels like Stuart Scott meant, just know, man, that you mean that to a lot of us brothers trying to make it in this
I appreciate
industry.
that, man.
You are the gold standard.
I appreciate
You are
that.
the GOAT. You are a legend.
Thank
sir.
you, man.
Understand
Thank
what
you so
mean
much.
to us, man.
Thank you.
Hey.
That means the world, man. Thank you.
You already know this man, Michael Smith, brother from another. Check him out on NBC Sports. Check him out on Peacock. He said if you got more jobs, he got
listen.
8 like Steve Harvey. He trying to go for 9, 10.
No, I ain't got but 3. I got 3 in the dog.
Okay, so he need 5 more to catch Steve Harvey, but we gonna make this happen.
Oh, the jobs.
the jobs, yes.
I need more jobs.
See?
Yeah, I need more jobs.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
talking about kids. You said 8. I was like,
I'm sorry. Steve Harvey got like 8
I'm
jobs.
prolific
so.
and whatnot, but I ain't got 8 kids. You know what I mean? I'm productive. I'm reproductive, but
Hey,
not
the
like that.
sports reporter without pay. Your man Ray Lynn, your man Eric Wilson. Sports Arena here live on Radio Row. We will talk to y'all soon. Everybody stay blessed.